What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, Internet Land? It's your boy Ced coming to you live here from Tampa. Hoping everybody's having a phenomenal Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to all my network marketing buddies and pals, my affiliate marketing buddies and pals, my regular family and friends. Hola, hola, hola. I wanted to pop in here. Got some craziness going over these next couple of days. I got to start packing up some bags and getting ready for this crazy event here in Orlando. But I wanted to talk about the network marketing money trap. I wanted to talk about the network marketing money trap, and I think the timing of having this conversation is very, very important as we go into the last quarter of the year. As this last quarter of the year for network marketers, the best time for you to be able to capitalize on your business, no matter what company that you might be in, no matter what your offer might be. Now is the time to capitalize at the last quarter of the year, because September, October, November, December, you can do some amazing things. But I want to assist people inside of this network marketing money trap. Now, I've done a training on this before, but I've deleted and added quite a few new friends, and there's a lot of people that I'm connecting with out there. So happy Wednesday for all of you that might be looking at this for the very, very first time. Thank you for joining. And let's just get right into the details of this network marketing money trap and what I mean by the network marketing money trap. Now, here's what tends to happen with so many of us that build the business on a part-time level. 9 out of 10 people that end up joining your business, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be part-time networkers. 9 out of 10 are going to be part-time networkers. And if you assist them in not falling into this specific trap, you are going to increase the retention with these networkers that are on your team. Now, here's what I mean by this. If majority of the people are part-time and they make $300 extra a week, $200 extra a week, $400 extra a week, they're making an extra $1,000 a month, they're making an extra $2,000 a month, say they're making an extra $4,000 a month. You have to teach people that 100% of that money is not theirs, or they're going to fall into the trap. You have to teach them that 100% of that money is not theirs, or they're going to fall into the trap. Now, here's what I mean. I'm going to break this down. I've broken this down many times before, but I'm going to do it again for the sake of duplication, because that's the name of the game, right? First things first. You always have to pay yourself first. Whatever you do, you always have to pay yourself first. Listen, you got a mortgage on your house and it's through Wells Fargo. You can't pay Wells Fargo first. You got to pay yourself first. I know you got a car note, okay, and say, I got to pay this car note. I understand, but pay yourself first. Pay yourself something. Cedrick, my check was $297. Pay yourself $15. Pay yourself $30. Pay yourself $40. You got to pay yourself first. So first things that you got to do, you got to pay yourself. So whatever your check is, 10% of that right off the top needs to go to savings. 10% of it needs to go to savings right off the top. There's not even a thought to it. There's not even a thought to that. There's always something that's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. There's always this emergency. There's always something, whether it's the tire that goes out, whether it's the air conditioning, whether it's something that happened with the roof, whether the kids had to go to the emergency room, whether the transmission went out in the car, whether the kids needed some clothes or whatever. It's always something. It's always something. So when you get that $300 check, when you get that $1,000 check, when you get that $2,000 check, that $4,000 check, you got to remember 100% of it isn't yours. Right off the top, 10% of it needs to go to savings. Now, what's next? That leaves us with 90%, right? Now, another 10% of it needs to go toward investing. 10% goes toward savings, 10% goes toward investing. Now, let me do this here really quickly. Let me drop this disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. Lord knows I have no license in giving anybody any financial advice. If you want specific financial advice, feel free to consult with your very own accountant, your very own financial advisor. I do not play one on YouTube. I do not play one on Facebook, and I do not play one in real life. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, these are my opinions. Okay, these are my opinions. So 10% goes toward investing. Now, why is that important? Ladies and gentlemen, listen, you got your money buried in the backyard. Are you growing flowers? Are you growing potatoes? Like, it's not a bad idea to have some money in the cut, buried in the cut, but you don't want a whole chunk of it. You don't want your net worth buried in the cut. Okay, so you've got to have some money out there working for you. What do you have investing? Me, I love certain vehicles. I'm not going to talk about them here on this specific Facebook Live because I don't want to give investment advice. But I have certain financial vehicles that I love, and a lot of you that have followed me for a while, you already know what some of them are. But what are you investing in? Whether it's real estate, whether it's gold, whether it's silver, whether it's crypto, whether it's the stock market, whether it's bonds, you know what I mean? Whether it's parking certificates, whether it's tax liens, what are you investing in? 10% of that right off top, without thinking. Pay yourself first, then invest some, okay? So that leaves you with what? 80%. That leaves you with 80%. Now, a chunk of you are going to tithe. So now you got another 10%. A chunk of you are going to tithe. So you're tithing to your local church, you're tithing to your local Red Cross, or whatever the case may be, local communities, whatever the case may be. 10% going toward tithing. That's 70% gone. That's 70%. I mean, I'm sorry, that's 30% of the check gone. You only got 70% left. Okay? We can't forget the man. Oh, the man got to have theirs. I'm just going to put the man. I'm not even going to, if you don't know who the man is, I don't know what to tell you. 30% right off the top. You're an entrepreneur. You've got a job at the same time, and you're working from home. You've got some benefits from working from home. So you got 30% of it going to the man. So you got 30% going to the man, 10% going to tithe, and 10% going to invest, and 10% going to savings. That's 30, 40, 50, 60%. Ladies and gentlemen, what did that leave you with? That left you with 40%. See that? 40% is you. That left you with 40%. If you're following this equation, as soon as you got paid from your direct selling company, whether it was weekly or whether it was monthly residual, 10% of it right off the top went towards savings. 10% right off the top of it went toward investing. 10% right off the top went toward tithing. 30% went to the man. You're only left with 40%. Now, what is the money trap? The money trap is real simple. People get a $500 check and they spend $500. They get a $1,000 check, they spend $1,000. They get a $3,000 check, they spend $3,000. They get a $5,000 residual check from their network marketing company, they spend $5,000. They get a $10,000 residual check from their network marketing company, they spend $10,000. They've just fallen into the money trap. Because if you take 100% of what you have coming in as a business owner, okay, and first of all, I didn't even show you any money putting toward the business, like building the business. I actually left that part out because I'm talking to the 90+% of the people that are looking at this right now. If you're doing this on a part-time basis, which is 9 out of 10 people, you're doing this on a part-time basis for $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever that number is, you got to remember that that isn't all of your money. That is not 100% of your money, or you're in the money trap. You didn't put the 30% aside for the man, you're in the money trap. You didn't put the 10% aside every time you got paid for savings, you're in the money trap. You didn't put the 10% down every time you got paid for investing, you're in the money trap. So what happens? We get into the last quarter of the year. This is what the money trap looks like. Let me show you what the money trap looks like. We're in the last quarter of the year. There's some of you that have been in network marketing all year, whether part-time or full-time. You've been in network marketing since January. You've made money since January, and now it's September. So you've got 8 months in the game. If you fell into the money trap, you didn't put the 10% aside for the savings. If you fell into the money trap, you didn't put the 10% aside for investing, so you have nothing investing. Here's the biggest one. If you fell into the money trap, and let's say that right off top, from January to August, 8 months. Let's say you made $2,000 a month for 8 months. That's $16,000. You are inside of the money trap. You are inside of the money trap right now if you didn't put at least $4,800 aside for the man already. Not starting today. You made $2,000 a month since January. It's now September. You made $5,000 a month since January. It's now September. What's 5 times 8? 40,000. You made 40,000. And you're like, I don't even know where it went to. That has nothing to do with them. You made 40,000. 30% of 40,000 is 12 grand. You got that 12 grand in the cut. You got that 12 grand in the cut because see, when you fall into the money trap, what tends to happen is that we start grinding backwards. Now we're grinding for the next 4 months to make up for the previous 8. Now we're grinding hard for the next 4 months to try to make up for the previous 8. And when you launched your business in January, maybe you don't have the same momentum today that you had in January. Maybe you don't have the same momentum today that you had in March or that you had in April or that you had in May. That's why it's so important that you follow this every time you get paid. You have to follow this every time you get paid. Every time you get paid, you can't wait. You can't wait until the end of the year to do it. You got to do this every time I don't care how big the check is. I don't care if the check is $48. This is the game you got to play. I don't care if the check is $52. This is the game you got to play. The check is $50,000. This is the game you got to play. I'm only showing y'all this from experience of doing it the opposite way. It's not smart and it stings. It stings. You don't want the sting. You don't want the sting. Trying to educate you from getting sting. The sting ain't no joke. 10%. Pay yourself first. Guess what happens when you pay yourself first? Then all of a sudden, if you made 100 grand this year in network marketing, at the end of the year, you totally didn't even think about it, right? There's $10,000 in the cut right off the top that you didn't even think about. If you followed this and you made 100 grand in network marketing and you did the 10% toward investing, if your money didn't grow not $1, that's 10% that's in the cut. So now you got 20 grand that's in the cut from the 100,000 that you made for the previous 12 months. Now, some of y'all might look at these numbers and say, well, hold on, Cedrick, I can't live on 40%. And some of you might say, look, there's only one thing that you can cut out of here. If you want to cut something out, the only thing that you can cut out is the tithing. So if some of y'all say, well, Sid, I don't do the tithing, okay. You still got your 30% to the man. You ain't lowering that number. Stop playing with yourself. You stop playing. Don't play the Wesley Snipes game. You got 30%, 10%, 10%. You're not getting away from it. That's 50% right there. And some of us are in bigger categories than this. That's 50% right there. That's 50% right there. That still only leaves you with 50%. So if you got 5 grand this month, really only 2,500 was yours. If you made 10 grand this month, really only 5 grand was yours. If you made 20 grand this month, really only 10 grand was yours. If you made 100 grand this month, really only 50 grand was yours. See, when you try to cheat the math will come back and clobber you. When you try to cheat the math, you can't cheat the math. The math is the math is the math. See, this is a topic that not enough people talk about. So it's not as sexy. It's not as sexy, right? But it's the truth. It's not as a sexy topic, but it's the truth. And I'm telling you guys this because, again, you're going into the last quarter of the year right now. And if you're not doing this right now, you got some catch up you got to play right now. You got some catch up that you got to play right now, starting today, starting right now. You got to say, well, hold on for a second. This is what I got to do. You got to learn to discipline your disciplines. You got to learn to discipline your disciplines. Just because the check said 5 grand doesn't mean you got to spend the 5 grand. It's not all yours. It's not all yours. I told the story to my team last week that just last week, the air conditioning went out in my home, right? And it was on the side of my home that is the bedroom side. Man, it was hot as I don't know what. It was hot as I don't know what. Now, if it wasn't for following a path like this and being financially okay, that couple of $1,000s for that new AC unit would have hurt my heart. Okay, but there's people out there that maybe that aren't following something like this, and then when a $5,000 hit comes, it changes their life, or they don't have the money. When a $10,000 hit comes, a $15,000 hit comes, it changes everything. We're all one John Q moment away from changing our life. Don't you ever forget it. Stop walking around like you're Superman and you're invincible. We're all one John Q moment away from our life being changed. All of us. All of us. So if you aren't following this path and you aren't paying yourself first, you aren't saving some money, you aren't investing some money, and a liver transplant is needed, and you say, Cedrick, I got insurance, and I say, great. They say the liver transplant is $100,000, and the insurance company says we're covering 60 grand. You've got 40 grand left. You got 40 grand left. Are you dependent upon a GoFundMe account to get a liver? You think all your friends are going to support it? Some may, but I think you see the results that some people are getting from that type stuff. Like, do you want to even put yourself out there like that? Do you want to have to depend on other people? Or do you want to follow a system that you can say, hold on for a second, I've got to understand my numbers. We as networkers, we forget sometimes that this is a business. We treat it like a hobby, and we wonder why it pays us like a hobby. Those people who treat it like a business, then it pays them like a business. So the more you treat it like a hobby, then the more certain things are going to happen that are hobby-ish. But when you treat it like a business, then you start to look at your numbers and say, hold on, I've got to be able to track this. I got to know when this is happening. I got to know when that is happening. You got to treat it the way it's supposed to be treated. And if you got a problem with the 50%, then you just need to go and create more income. Every time I do an educational video like this, there's people that tell me, well, Sid, I can't do nothing with that 40, 50%. Okay, cool. Well, then go create another income stream. Nobody told you to be locked into one income stream anyway. Who told you to do that? I'm a big fan of an income stream for every bill that I have coming in my house. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you got a problem with the 40 or 50%, then create another income stream. For my networkers, I didn't say go out there and join 50,000 different network marketing companies. There's a million ways to make $1 million, okay? But you can take an income from one and invest in another and another and another and compound certain things if the 40% isn't enough, if the 50% is enough. But even with that second stream or that third stream or that fourth stream, you still got to play this same equation. Now, if you create this equation throughout all of your income streams, your savings starts to look stupid. Your investment starts to look stupid. You're never behind on this one down here. And then you got the money that you're keeping, and you actually are starting to save a lot more of it because you ain't spending it now. You ain't spending it all the time now because you've created more income streams because you followed this system. Now, you know what I learned in life? I learned in life that some of the most basic things are the things that could change your life. See, some people are going to look at this plain sheet of paper as so basic. They're going to look at this plain sheet of paper as so basic and ignore it. Because I'm not Dave Ramsey, or because I'm not some certified financial guru. And I'm not trying to play one here today. I'm only talking to my networkers, and that's it. I'm not trying to play a financial guru to anybody looking at this video. Consult your own financial advisor and CPA for financial advice. Lord knows I am not qualified to do so. Period. End of story. However, go ahead and ignore this and don't pay yourself. Go ahead and ignore this and just don't pay yourself. That's plain common sense. I don't have to be a financial advisor to tell you that. Investing some of your money, you don't really have to be a financial advisor to tell people that, okay? Understanding to put the man's money aside as it comes in versus trying to create it at the end of the year, that penalty can hurt your feelings big time. Pay yourself first, ladies and gentlemen. Invest. Pay yourself first, invest. Pay yourself first, invest. Whatever that check is coming from your MLM, only 40 to 50% of that money is yours. I don't care how big the check is. Let me repeat that again. For the people in nosebleed seats, no matter how big your check is, only 40 to 50% of that is yours. And if you keep thinking that it's more, then let's just see what you're skirting. Let's see what you're eliminating. Because, I mean, you could pay yourself. You could take 60% of it. You could take 70% of it. You could take 70% of it. What are you investing? What are you saving? Nothing. Where's the man's money at? Got to follow the path, ladies and gentlemen. In life, it tends to be a path for the things that we really, really, really want to accomplish, that we want to do big in life. It's always a path for it. Now, you can choose to ignore the path, or you can choose to follow the path. People that ignore paths, they pay penalties. People that follow paths tend to get to their destination a lot safer and happier. And I'd be the first one to tell you, you want to get to your destination a lot safer and happier. No matter what type of business that you're building, your affiliate world, your networking world, whether you're in the product space, whether you're in the digital space, no matter what you're selling out there in the networking world, follow that blueprint. Follow that blueprint. Don't get caught up in the Instagrams of flash. Don't get caught up in the Facebook of flash. If you need to go do flashy stuff, go create more money so you can do that. But if you keep eliminating this over here, you can do some flash, but it ain't gonna last long. It's gonna be some temporary flash. It's gonna be some temporary flash, and that's probably not what you want inside of your life. So my little educational video for this evening. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. I gotta go pack. I got stuff I got to do. So hope you guys got some value from this video, that you took some notes and maybe apply this to your business here today, ASAP, whether you're looking at this live or looking at the recording, whether you see it on a different day or on YouTube or wherever. The reality is that follow that equation and watch what changes inside of your entrepreneurial journey. So with that being said, thank you guys for popping on this Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you see this video at. Thank you guys. I really, truly appreciate it. I guess it's only fair that I go out there and end this video like I end all the rest of them. Go out there and make somebody smile today. You already know, because they deserve it, and so do you. Until the next time, deuces.